everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to part 16 of my Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony Let's Play. We are getting right into the class trial, the third class trial, to find out who Angie and Tenko's murderers are, although I guess we are technically focusing just on Angie's killer. So this should be interesting. I'm excited to see how this is going to go, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so time to kind of give my idea about who I think the murderer is. I think for this one, it is tough because there's two separate murders. So it's the whole idea of, did one person commit both murders? Were there two separate murders? I'm gonna say I think one person did both, and I think it was Kyo. The reason for that is because he kind of has more of a connection with the idea of seances and raising people from the dead. So I don't know exactly how. I'm just kind of like, I just feel like he has an investment in this. Why he potentially killed two people? First of all, I don't know if he did kill two people or if he killed one person. I have no idea, but I'm gonna go with Kyo. I think he did both the murders. The reason why, I'm not quite sure. It's just, that's just my idea about who did it. So let's get into the skills and we will get into the class trial. Okay, so based on how badly I have been doing at the argument armament, I'm definitely going to grab the high tension one, anything to help me out with this. Although there was the one that I wanted to get last time that was 16. It was the delusion one, I think, or neural liberation might be good as well. What should I do? I mean, this is technically good during all parts of the class trial, so maybe this might be a better one to get. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to spend all of my skill points on this one. But the next one, I think I'm definitely going to get something for the argument armament. So, boom, there we go. So that one should hopefully help me out quite a bit. Although it does take up a lot of my slots for the set skills. But anyway, okay, I've got that one. We're good. I obviously can't buy any more, so you guys just want me to get into the class trial, so let's do it.
Ahem. Now then, let's begin with the basic explanation of the class trial. During the trial, you'll present your arguments for who the culprit is, and vote for who done it. Vote correctly, and only the blackened will be punished. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will graduate from this academy. Also, refusing to vote will result in your death, so you better vote for someone. Now, smiles, everyone! It's showtime! Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time.
Alright, Kaito, insinuating that you're usually very helpful.
Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough
I
investigation.
love how he really believes that Monokuma did all this just because Kaito is just so awesome that, like, Monokuma had to do something to kind of keep him off the trail.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you two weirdos.
Oh, Himiko. She is, like, determined. It's nice to see her actually, like, not just kind of so blasé about everything. I guess, yeah, for her, she loved Angie, and I think she liked Tenko, too.
Who killed Angie and Tenko?
It's like her two friends, you know, her two best
Do
friends.
not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be two killers.
So, yes, this is the one thing we have to figure out. Was there one murderer, or were there two murderers?
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
What do you mean?
The transfer
Oh yeah, that's that whole thing too, right? We gotta figure out if somehow there was a murder from beyond the grave.
Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
Is it even possible for a revived corpse to be the culprit? Well, in the interest of being thorough, I should clear things up here. I can't believe I even have to, like, clear this up, but okay, I guess for Kaito's sake.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates.
You know, once again, it could be Samuki and she's putting that whole thing about that idea in our head to try and get the heat off of her.
Work?
Who was resurrected, I wonder?
Angie did say she was gonna bring Rantaro back. Yes, Rantaro was resurrected. The culprit is the late Rantaro Amami!
Please, stop
Oh,
it!
poor Kaito. This isn't about believing in reviving the dead. I have to focus on their statements. Were all those statements correct?
This crime was committed by the
Okay,
recently
so
deceased.
forehead injury, effigies,
They came
Necronomicon,
back to life and killed 2 of our
Monokuma
classmates.
file.
No! So, ritual did work?
So I have to debate whether the ritual worked
Who was resurrected? I
or
wonder?
what has other people
Angie
said
did say she was gonna
about bringing
bring
Rantaro back, so that's something I might debate.
Yes. Rantaro was resurrected. The culprit is the late Rantaro Amami!
Okay, so... And like they said, we do have to focus on Angie. Angie is the main one, not necessarily Tenko, which is really sad in itself. Fatal stab wound to the torso, lacerations on her forehead. Okay, they do talk about the second victim, Tenko, discovered in a vacant room. Okay, so we are focusing on Angie. Considering the laceration, the injury on the victim's forehead was not bleeding as much as it should. 4 wax effigies that were created for the resurrection rituals, exact replicas of Rantaro, Kaede, Ryoma, and Kurumi, hung upside down from this. Alright. Angie attempted to carry out the book's resurrection ritual, the Necronomicon resurrection ritual. Prepare an effigy of the dead soul you wish to contact. Everyone may participate. No one deceased. After preparing the effigy, burn the Necronomicon to ashes. Oh, okay. So there it is right there. So she'd never burned the Necronomicon, so she wasn't able to complete the ritual. So...
Please, stop it!
So there's a whole thing about, you know, the ritual worked. So let's get back to that.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to of our classmates.
No! So,
No!
Who
No!
was resurrected?
Fail.
This crime back to life.
Alright, so we gotta get rid of that white noise first. Right? Did it not work?
that's wrong!
Okay, whew! Alright, there we go. I was like, ah, crap. Wrong right off the bat.
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded. According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us, you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution, be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning. Sprinkle the ashes on the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times.
If Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Then, going to think Rantaro probably not culprit.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Now hold on a second. I can't let that comment stand. Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life. But it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
So Monokuma usually tends to be pretty honest about things. Is he actually saying that this is possible?
But
Or-
it's true. I never lie about motives.
Daddy said so he can't be wrong. Raising the dead.
Oh,
Man,
sorry,
can't
didn't mean to
believe
skip,
you guys
although...
wasted such a perfectly good motive.
I think instinctively I just want to get past these guys.
You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
Dude, you are so next. Like, why are you... Do you not value your life? Although I wouldn't mind if you died.
Oh? So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
There's no way it's possible!
There's no way that could happen, idiots. Monokuma is trying to confuse us. Let's hurry up and find out who the Blackened is.
If our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Who? Who did it? Step aside, Half Pint. I'll handle this. I don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kyo murdered Angie.
Okay, well, I mean, the fact that Kyo's being called out right there, shoot, I guess I'm probably not going to be right then.
What? Why?
Don't play dumb with me, Creepshow. I already know what happened.
So I might need a backup. Crap, okay, so... if not Kyo... But then again, the fact that they're calling Kyo out so quickly, maybe that's a red herring and maybe he will end up... I'm clinging on to that. Because I don't want to be wrong. Even though I've been wrong every time so far about who the killer has been.
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie.
Okay, that's her reasoning.
And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, and murdered the fuck out of Angie! Hoo-yah! I'm a fucking genius!
Is Kyo really the culprit? Does that story fit the facts of this case? We should think about it from the beginning.
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie.
Okay, I'm guessing it's gotta be something to do with the doors.
It was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
So the doors, Kokichi is the only one who would be able to get in. So that does make him suspicious, but I have a feeling it's probably not Kokichi either. So I'm guessing it's got to do with the front door.
But anyone could have taken that katana.
So that's when she said something about breaking in?
You were the only one who cared about that thing.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm.
I mean, there was the thing.
Classroom, broke in.
Nope. Okay, that wasn't it. Whether Kyo had a key or not, Angie still would have let him into her lab. Oh. And from there, he could have pinned her down and murdered her just like that. Well, wait, he wasn't... No, he wasn't a member of the student council, so she wouldn't let him in, right? Darn.
Oh no!
Okay, so that wasn't it. So maybe...
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab.
Okay, well, let's check out the other...
Which makes you, Kyo, automatic...
Alright, so I forgot about Samugi's account. Angie had locked herself in the Ultimate Artist Lab since yesterday, working on the ritual. She would not unlock the door oh, there we go. Unless someone from the student council asked her to. Okay, so maybe I'm still right about the breaking in part, but I just used the wrong one.
The murder. You were the only one who...
It could be the back door as well,
Not
but...
care about some...
Just admit it, you shitty worm. You went to the classroom, broke in.
Alright, there we go.
That's wrong! No, Kyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab.
So, then, are they... So, someone probably from the student council, maybe? Huh. I'm wondering maybe if it's even Himiko. I don't know why I would think that. I think the fact that she seems like the most unlikely person to do it, so I'm going completely the opposite way, where Kyo to me seems like the most obvious, and now I'm flipping it.
Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
Tsumugi, and funny, I was like putting blame on Tsumugi too, so maybe it's Tsumugi, because she technically would have been able to get in as well, since she was part of the student council.
Yeah. Before Angie locked herself up in her research lab...
Because she knew about all this too, right?
She said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
And Kyo is not a member. She wouldn't have opened the door for him.
Kyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
I had no desire to kill her in the first place.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
Nah. But then, now that's like, that seems too obvious too. So it's like, is it a member of the student council or not? I'm just getting all of my ideas just kind of, I feel like nothing is right that I'm saying.
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
My thing, as long as
The
Gonta
remaining
didn't do
student
it,
council
I'm
members
okay
are
with it.
Gonta, Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie. I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
But maybe Himiko was, I don't know, was she maybe faking it or something happened between them?
Yeah, of course.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Yeah, Kibo, there we go.
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
Why is Kokichi so much on Himiko's side, though? This seems kind of weird that he's actually defending someone. I feel like he's stirring up some shit, right? There's got to be a reason to why he's doing this. Unless he's suspecting Himiko, but he's playing it all like, oh, it couldn't be her.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3.
No.
Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
No. I mean, I do like all 3 of them. So I don't...
Yep, the culprit is one of those 3 people.
Kokichi, what are you... What...
You mean one of those 2 people? Because a robot ain't people, Jack!
I will let that remark
Yeah, I was like,
slide.
that seemed a little
Anyway,
unnecessary.
Aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
Whatevs, the culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi? Well...
Oh, I feel like we're about to have a mass panic debate right now, aren't we?
No, not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
Torture might be a bit too far,
Yep.
but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
For Kibo. No one's sticking up for Kibo.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez.
I believe you, Kibo. I want to believe you.
Gonta not the culprit.
Yeah, here we go.
We must consider
is a
other
gentleman.
possibilities. Surely there must be suspects
Gentlemen,
outside the
not
student
betray
council.
student council.
That's utterly impossible.
For last night?
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone could open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student
Better
council
not being
members had
out too late
access.
at night.
Look, I don't know who the
Ask
I
culprit
didn't know
is,
robots
Kyo
told such
doubt
boring
Gonta.
lies.
but it's definitely not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
Kibo, calm down. I can't see the other stuff. Alright, there were several suspicious statements, but one is obviously inconsistent. I'll listen carefully, sort the statements in my head, and find the answer.
We must consider
is a
other
gentleman.
possibilities. Surely there must be suspects outside the student
Betray
council.
student
Okay.
council.
What do we got here? So the back door, the lock picking. Oh crap, I can't remember. Tsumugi's and the Necronomicon. Would they use Tsumugi's account 2 times in a row? I don't know. Okay, so there was a whole thing about the student council, the Necronomicon. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
For last night?
A dead chick
Not just
can't be
anyone
the
could open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members had access.
Okay.
Look, I don't know who the
I
culprit
didn't know
is,
robots told such boring lies.
but it's definitely not me.
Is that a robophobic remark?
Okay, that I don't think that has anything to do with it. All right. So there was the thing about Gonta said something about not being laid out at night. So that could be something. And then
You must consider other
and then Kokichi said something too about it was just the student and then there was that, but I don't think that has.
That's utterly impossible.
So Kokichi said something about only the student council would be able to get in, but then there's a whole thing like he could get in, right?
Members had access.
Look, I don't know who the
I
culprit
didn't know
is,
robots told such boring lies.
but definitely not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
Okay, I'm gonna try that one. Also, because I like the idea of throwing it back at Kokichi, because it seems like he's trying really hard to throw the attention off himself when he would be able to get in.
Possible.
For last night.
So let's try that.
Dead chick
Not just
can't be
anyone.
And if
could
not
open
that, then it might have something to do with like late at night.
Only
You know?
student council.
Ah, there we go. Sweet. Okay, and now we can talk to Kokichi and be like, dude, what the hell? Like, you could get in.
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to Kyo. He
Ha
couldn't
ha
have done
ha.
it, but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
Oh, I would laugh so hard if it ended up being Kokichi being the murderer, but I don't think it is, but if we could get rid of Kokichi and Angie in one chapter, I think it would be a pretty good chapter. Some people have their ideas about, some people say this is a really good chapter, some people say this is like one of the weaker ones, but I'm like, if we could get rid of Angie and Kokichi, I feel like this is a pretty good one. Kokichi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. Also, no offense to those of you guys who love Kokichi. I understand why you do. He's a little troll, and, you know, he's funny, but I'm just like, oh, he just gets on my nerves. There, open says me.
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it.
I'm guessing he's not admitting to the murder.
I killed Angie.
Okay, he is admitting to the murder. I love how he's such a troll. Nobody is even everyone's just like, oh my god, dude, like, just shut up.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
Except for
I
Kaito.
picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie. The culprit was me, all along.
What?
Come on, guys, you know how he is.
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
No, he's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm
Of
certain.
course he's lying, guys.
No, definitely not a lie. I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit. How did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
Okay.
What different method? Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
Oh, is he talking about the, because on the other door there was the golden leaf stuff on the lock.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was...
It was the back door, right? Yeah.
That's it! The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
Oh yeah, that's right. We still gotta figure out all that about that locked room mystery thing.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
Okay, the tool the culprit used to lock the sliding lock from outside was... Oh, this one. Oh, shoot. Shoot. Okay, sorry. I can't remember how to do this. Okay, delete piece, bloody bloody blah. Okay, so if I remember correct... Oh, okay. So it was definitely the katana, but I have to reveal the whole picture before I'm able to actually, like, select it, I think. Oh yeah, I can do that to just get rid of, like, the specific ones that I need to get rid of.
I see it! The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so we thought it was because they had it on their hands and they used it, but...
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Talking about a different school?
All right, we get it. Yes, yes, yes. It's a callback.
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with a katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself.
Okay.
It was an odd setup after all. The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigy's hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
Okay. I could see Angie doing that for artistic flair, though, so that
If it was
wasn't...
not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
A different purpose. What could that have been? And then, yeah, well, there you go. You can kind of see. It's like the reason why it was in Kaede specifically is her body, you can see it's right near the door. The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the door. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. If I do that, the way the culprit locked the door should be clear. Okay, now we're on... Oh, boy. All right. All right, well, this one's easy enough. It's like Wheel of Fortune. I gotta try and get as many of these as possible because it's gonna make it easier for myself. Okay, who... Oh, geez, I'm missing... Oh, no, I was so busy reading up there. I was missing all those letters. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah! Okay, what turned the handle of the sliding lock? No, it'd be the hilt, because that's what had the gold on it, right? Alright, I just gotta focus on the letters on the street, not above my head. Because I'm guessing I have to get all the letters regardless, but if I miss them, it just takes up more time. So I've got to just focus on that. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, what was done to make the katana turn the lock? Well, it's got to be the stab into the effigy, because what other reason would the killer have than doing that, right? As I said, the whole reason that those effigies were hung up was for a reason. Shoot. Just gotta slow down, slow down. Alright, how is the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? Oh boy. I don't know. Oh boy. Swinging it back and forth, maybe? Spinning it? I'm gonna try swinging back and forth. Oh shoot, that wasn't it. Okay, let's try spinning it, because it didn't fall over, because it was still hung up. Okay. So we want spinning it. Alright, there you go. Interesting. I never would have thought that.
It connects. That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging
Man.
from would twist.
Shuichi, I can see why you're the ultimate detective. And, like, how did you figure that out?
Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place?
The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope, and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock. and thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Okay.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up so we'd think it was some kind of ceremony.
Man. All these high school students are too good at murder, is what I'm... It's just like... all that planning you'd have to figure. So it would have to be someone who had been in Angie's, like, lab enough to know all this was happening, that she was making all of these effigies ahead of time, so they could have planned all this out.
That way.
So that's what's making me... Now it's making me think it's gotta be someone from student council. So it's someone that Angie would have let in to her lab, like, beforehand, so they would know kind of how to do all this. And the setup of her lab itself.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed.
Good job, Kokichi. Just put it right back on you.
Completely ignore that possibility.
Although knowing him, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that on purpose, just to make things more interesting.
But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Why are you so surprised, Mew? Why is anyone surprised?
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
It just bothers me. I think that's the thing that bothers me about Kokichi is, like, these people are being murdered and he's just acting like it's just a game. And I don't know, like, that bothers me.
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out.
Okay. Because the thing is, like, even if the people who murdered aren't people that I necessarily, like, am fond of or care about, I just want them to take it seriously, damn it.
If I claim to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
Oh, sure, whatever.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Okay, I'll start right now.
Alright, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
Mew, I can't hold it up anymore.
Ugh.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
I do not like this conversation. Let's just move on, please.
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter, since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Although, man, his insults are like, mwah, A+. So that's one thing I would miss about Kokichi if he was gone.
Cum dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Eh boy.
What should we talk about now?
Alright, yeah, Gonta's like, I don't know what you guys are saying, but I don't care for it.
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is, did Himiko do this on purpose to fly under the radar if she got close, you know, she got close with, Angie. And then there's a whole thing with Tenko, though, but, like, would Himiko, like, now I'm starting to wonder if the second murder was done by a different person. If it was Himiko, because, like, yeah, Himiko could have known that Tenko would have taken her place, but that seems a little bit of a stretch, because that was just kind of like a spur-of-the-moment thing where Kyo was like, okay, it's gotta be a girl. And then Tenko was like, well, I don't know. I don't know.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
I'm not quite sure now. Yeah, I really don't know.
That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect? I never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
The suspect rangers.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down!
The thing is that, the whole thing about Kyo did get kind of just resolved pretty quickly, so I still, maybe in the back of my head, I still think it might be him. Because we can't say, you know, for sure that it wasn't him. Like, I don't know.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers, what should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
I hate that I even think, you know, that Himiko may have done it, but it must be hard for her that the fact is, like, we're not even talking about Tenko, and I get it. I get Angie is, like, you know, that's the one we have to solve, but it does feel, it feels bad that we're just kind of overlooking her, too.
Huh?
I'm sorry, Himiko. I'm sorry that I might think it's you.
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie?
I got you
what?
exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What?
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We gotta figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless.
Wow.
Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Dude, it's like, I know, God forbid that, you know, someone care about another person? Himiko?
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you!
Oh god, now I feel horrible for thinking it might have been her.
Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her?
Although, I don't know, like, maybe she's doing this, maybe she's manipulating. I have to suspect everybody. Everybody is a suspect, as much as I like the characters.
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Wow.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS.
What?
You didn't give 2 shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for Tenko taking Himiko's place, Himiko would have died unless, you know, maybe it was Himiko that killed her. So,
Kokichi, enough!
I can kind of see both sides. Like, Kokichi's going from, like, a really, what's the word I'm thinking of? Jaded point of view, like a very practical, like, yeah, maybe she is taking attention off of Angie. But then I can see the emotional part of Himiko wanting to, you know, find out who killed her friend.
No, it's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously! It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
So yeah. I know I get on Kaito's, I'm like, he's no use to us, but this is what he's good for. He's good for hyping us up, kind of getting us back on track, and, you know, thinking about the big picture.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth.
There we go. Good boy, Kaito.
I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito. Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is... Death Curse!
I suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run! I won't forgive something so messed up!
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
I'm glad to see that they're not... I mean, I knew we were gonna get to Tenko's death eventually, because it probably will play into Angie's, but... yeah, I'm glad we're finally bringing that up. Kaito. That's what Kaito... Kaito is our good cheerleader.
Noticed. You're so slow.
Kokichi.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Oh, I'm wondering about how long this trial is going to be, because there is the two deaths, but as far as I know, the other two cases where there were two murders, I don't think they were that much longer.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
But it feels like it's going to be so much longer because there's still so little that I know.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not wrong, but, like, I'm really divided on whether Himiko, like, she sounded so impassioned and so sincere, but maybe it was, like, something to kind of, like, draw us away from... I don't know. I really don't know what to think. I'm trying to see both sides. I'm trying to see the logical side and the practical side, and I'm trying to see kind of the emotional side as well. I don't mind going over Tenko's case, but that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional? Oh, is he thinking the same thing I am? Is he thinking maybe it's Himiko?
So, what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Tancrotch!
The people who attended the seance. Okay, so it was Kyo, Shuichi, Himiko... No, Kokichi wasn't there. And it wasn't Kibo. Oh my gosh. It was, no, it wasn't... Kokichi. Oh, Kokichi. What? Oh. Oh my god. I'm so dumb. It was the first one. For some reason, I got Kokichi mixed up with Kaito. There's too many names that start with K and it throws me off. How can you not remember? Too busy thinking pervy thoughts, eh, virgin? I get it. You're too distracted because his hot bottom line is right next to you. Oh my god, that was an embarrassing one to mess up. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, Kyo, Shuichi, Himiko, Kokichi. There we go.
That's it.
Not my proudest moment.
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those 4 are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Yeah, now I'm wondering, man, maybe it is her.
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the 4 is really Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
And that was my thinking, but I don't know. Now I'm starting to kind of lean towards
I may have
Himiko.
suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes?
It was Kibo. Kibo was all butthurt that he got kicked out of the seance, so he did it.
If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in.
Yep.
It was Himiko.
Did I mention something about that during the investigation? I thought it was weird that Himiko was the one who specifically picked the middle room. However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room. The middle room's always best for stuff like this. Like, what? That's not really an explanation. It's the best for stuff like this. What does that even mean? Very well, I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
But we're still so early in the trial, so I mean, we'll see.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
A point of entry from outside. He must be referring to... There's the floorboard, right? Maybe? Just looking around. Oh yeah, there was the hole over here too. Do I have that selected right?
There!
Okay.
You're talking about under the floor, right?
Was that? Oh, I'm trying to think. Who was in that corner?
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person could move through.
Oh, dirt. It wasn't the wall. It was, yeah.
There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly.
Ooh, okay.
The true identity of Tenko's killer.
All right, Kyo, what do you have to say about this?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance.
Oh my god, is he gonna say it's Kibo?
Under the floor.
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain...
Oh, he
had a
is
light.
too.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murder.
Oh, everybody just being a
Hold on a
robophobe.
second.
Alright, it's true with the little light, you can move around under the floor. But is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during
Okay, so
the
we've got the
seance.
caged child, the loose floorboard,
crawling
Kibo's
under
flashlight
the
function,
floor.
and hole in the corner.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor.
Okay, let's check this out. So there's the caged child. Oops. Oh boy, this is really long. Alright, so there's a whole thing about it being completely dark. Blinding light from his eyes. There was the loose floorboard. The hole in the corner. Okay. Not quite sure.
Into the empty room during the seance.
Not sure what I'm trying to disprove
hold on
here.
a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
I'll try and help you out, Kibo.
Hold on a second.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
Okay,
But it was pitch black.
but so like,
Did they even see if they were under
so as
the
I was saying before, if
Because it wasn't dark under the floor.
if Kibo had used his
see, Our
flashlight,
villain
if
had
it
a
was
light.
like so bright, there's no way you wouldn't be able to see it. If it's pitch black, any light you would be able to see.
Huh?
No. Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on.
So maybe what I'll do is there's the thing about
Hold on a second.
how the caged child, it has to be completely
The
dark.
culprit sneaked in during the seance.
So there's a thing you talked about, the light. So maybe I'll try that and see, like, if it had to be completely dark.
It wasn't dark under the floor. You see,
Let's try that.
it had a light.
Okay, that wasn't it. With the room as dark as it was, one would need a light, no? Or are you denying my entire theory? Either way, your evidence is lacking. Okay, that wasn't it.
The culprit sneaked
I still
in
think I'm
during
on.
the
I think I'm
seance.
on the right path. I think with the fact that with how dark it was, you would be able to see a light. Oh, okay, so maybe it's that one saying there's space on the floor so you could see what was dropped. So if you can see underneath, then you'd be able to see a light coming up from. Okay, so let's try that one.
during the seance?
Hole in the
How could they
corner.
even see if they were under the floor?
Because
Well, hopefully I am on the right path with
you
this.
see, our
Okay, there we go.
That's wrong! I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would
Yeah,
have
there
leaked
we go.
through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll find another way to blame you somehow, Kibo.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
Kokichi is really gunning for him, isn't he?
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
That's got to come back at some point, huh? I mean, I guess I kind of did there, where it's like his flashlight ability has come into play, but not really, and it got disproved. But I have a feeling it's going to come back at some point.
Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Grown to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Aw.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that. That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could
Is that a,
stab her through the floorboards.
That's got to be a reference to the second game, right? In the first trial.
sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however.
You know, it's funny how before we were talking about how we completely are ignoring Tenko, but now we're kind of ignoring Angie again, so I wonder when we're gonna circle back to that.
Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
That is a good thing to focus on, for sure.
When? So not during seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she? How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
Alright, so we gotta pinpoint when she was killed exactly.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
But she was inside cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
And she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You'll figure it out, shitheads.
That's just me. Mew just throws crazy things at us, and then we gotta figure it out.
Huh? Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
Okay, so we gotta figure out when she was killed.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
I'm wondering maybe if someone, like, they lift the floorboard to kill her from underneath, or did they bring her under? So maybe she wasn't. Oh, I don't know.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
I'm just gonna try and ignore Mew.
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Oh, that's right, Himiko.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit.
There's no down!
Okay. Tenko not being killed during the seance. That might not be impossible, but there's no evidence. Okay, so I need to prove that she was killed during the seance? Alright, well, let's check it out. So the wooden statue that was put on top of the iron cage during the seance weighs about 175 pounds. Shuichi, Kokichi, Kyo, and Himiko worked together to put it up and remove it from the cage. The white sheet. The sheet that was over the iron cage during the seance, it is very thick and cannot be seen through. There's blood on the back around the middle of the sheet, but there's no hole in the fabric. Oh yeah, that's right. So Kyo was the one who placed the sheet over the cage and removed it off the cage. The iron cage Tenko was in during the seance, it's around 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. Shuichi and Kokichi placed this over Tenko and Himiko removed it. Tenko's blood was on the bottom of the cage. Stone that was by Tenko's body during the seance, Tenko had been crouched over the iron cage with her forehead on the stone. Okay.
It wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. and she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When cage lifted,
Don't like
culprit
it.
stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
So they're saying that Himiko... Okay, so Himiko lifted the cage.
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Alright, wait. Let's look at this again. Alright, so at that point, when Himiko lifted the cage, the dog statue was off. The sheet... That's right, the sheet... No, that's right, because... No, yeah, when Himiko... By the time Himiko saw Tenko, she was already dead, right? Because there was the blood underneath her? And it was on the bottom of the cage. Okay. So yeah, okay, that's right. So they took the statue off. Yeah, Kyo, so he's the one who put the sheet over the cage and removed it off of the cage. Okay, and then, oh yeah, so there was already blood there. So, okay, maybe I use that. There's the iron. So let's try and use the white sheet for when they said that it was Himiko who did it. Because at that point, like... Oh, right there. No!
There's no
Oh, shoot, it was just because it was blocking. Alright, let's try that again.
When Tenko got...
And of course, it's right at the very end. Yeah, so there was already... The blood was on the sheet, but Himiko, when she lifted the cage, the sheet was already off at that point. So it couldn't have been Himiko. So I gotta do the white noise first.
Himiko.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't right. If the culprit killed her when they opened the cage, then only Himiko could have done it.
Oh no!
Alright, so that wasn't right, but I think I'm on the right path, because like I said,
It wasn't during
the sheet wasn't there, but when Himiko
It could not have been
lifted the
dead the whole
cage.
time. Cage the whole time.
And obviously if the blood was there, then it would be done before the cage was... Oh my god, literally they say that, right? Right there. Yeah, there we go. Man, I'm not doing so good in this one. I'm making a lot of mistakes.
It wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before
Yeah, that's
the
right,
cage
that's
was
right.
lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
Maybe Kyo did it.
But how could my golden brain be wrong
Kyo could
when
have
it
stabbed her
felt
really quick, although I doubt
so
that.
right?
It had to have been done under the floorboard somehow, right? Because the floorboard was moved.
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remark
Whoa,
right
okay.
here.
Alright.
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
She's really stuck on this part, isn't she? She just refuses to admit defeat.
Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage. They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of the cage, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
But the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need.
Uh-oh.
If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit.
Oh, so she is
And
saying
that's
Kyo.
none other than Kyo.
Wasn't she the one who blamed Kyo in the first place? There has to be a hole in Mew's logic somewhere. All I have to do... Okay, so the only part where she...
The blade's all you need.
Where did she say? Something about
If you stick the
Tenko
blade
was
through a gap
sitting in the cage? Okay, hold on. Oh, geez, it's right there. So yeah, she wasn't sitting, she was leaned over. But let me just check what the other ones are. So the loose floorboard. I think the iron cage was there, but I'm pretty sure that's it. It's gotta be the,
Tenko.
the sickle, sorry. Sickle under the floor. Blade was about 6 inches, the blood was still wet. So yeah, it happened very recently. Yeah, I think it was the marker stone, because... Oh, crap. What am I doing? What am I doing?
In there with her neck all exposed.
I'll cut through your words. Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage. She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone. And the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Mew. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Yeah, no worries.
Gonta. Oh, accidentally shading her. I love it.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, for a living person.
We're going back to this?
Huh?
Oh no, Kaito's like, no, I thought we were past this.
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
What are you talking about? That's not possible.
You don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that. Screw spirits.
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
What if Tenko killed Angie?
Oh,
And then Angie's
I don't
spirit
think that.
came
I
back
like.
for revenge.
I don't think that's.
Like I said, that's impossible. Spirits can't be culprits.
I know I know nothing's really impossible for this game, but I refuse to believe that it was a ghost or a spirit or
Then
whatever.
explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done that!
Wait, I know. What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage?
What?
If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance.
No, if there was someone else in the cage, we would have noticed.
I agree with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
You do?
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
Okay, Maki, what are you getting on about? You, I was like, usually she's the one who's... I don't know.
The culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
Wait, okay, so someone in the cage at any... Could have killed at any time. The they she's referring to is... Wait. Oh, no. Maki, no, are you saying... Did she kill herself? Oh, no. I mean, it's the only explanation. Could have killed her at any time, was inside the cage, right? Like, shit. I hope this wasn't Tenko's way of, like... I don't even know what would be her reasoning. Oh, that's... Oh. Fuck.
I believe Maki is referring to
Oh,
Tenko
God.
herself.
It's like Sayaka all over... Or, not Sayaka, sorry, Sakura.
What did you say?
But why? What would she... What reason would she have? Like, was this for her to atone? Like...
Are you saying Tenko was the culprit?
Did she kill Angie and, like, feel guilty about it and killed herself as, like, retribution?
She committed suicide.
Jesus.